Brown.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Where are we sitting?
We're here at Nancy Cafe at 131 West North Avenue.
And prior to having Nancy's, tell me about your other business.
Well, Nancy is an expansion of our dream, of our vision at the Station of Arts Cafe Gallery. We first opened up in 2005.
I remember that. I was thinking. Now, what made you come to Station North?
Came to Station North because it's a great community. It's a community that's got what I consider to be...
Back in 2005, it wasn't thriving like it is now.
Oh, absolutely
what
not.
What brought your heart here?
It had its challenges. I will tell you, when I opened up in 2005, there were two businesses on the block. A black-owned flower shop, which I was impressed by.
In the nightclub, wasn't it?
And a bail bondsman. So, what kind of people go to bail bondsman?
The kind of people that need bail.
Absolutely. So that was the energy on that block. Everything else was vacant or dilapidated except for the Caribbean Paradise restaurant and the Gatsby's nightclub. And
also known as Choice.
Right. And I gotta tell you, Catalina, first of all, thanks for this opportunity to talk with you this morning, but I gotta tell you that block was described as all kinds of things. And I don't mean, they were not positive descriptions. People said things like, that's a dead block, or that's an interstitial block. Interstitial meaning that there's a space of dead energy where two great energies exist, meaning that animated block of Charles Street, the 1700 block, had businesses and pedestrian activity and vehicular activity. And North Avenue at the top had vehicular traffic and pedestrian activity. But there was this little interstitial space between those where there was no life. And I thought it was important to bring some life to that block.
And when you brought life to this block, how'd you do it?
Well, I didn't do it.
Did you get a loan?
No loan.
Did you have a trust fund?
No trust fund.
Did you have a favor from a friend?
No favors from a friend. No government incentive. No SBA. We built our own business on our own backs, and on our backs of our customers and our friends. People became brand ambassadors for us. So it's easy for me to say that I didn't come here with a bank loan. I didn't come here with a federal set-aside or minority giveaway. It wasn't incentivized. I came here because I love the neighborhood. I've always loved the neighborhood. And I see the propensity for growth in this neighborhood that many people did not see then, now see, and then people like me are being impinged upon. Our territory is being lessened instead of expanded.
And speaking of that, 13 years down the road, staying power proven, tried and true.
Stayed through, drug dealers who are taking over the building.
3 mayors.
3 mayors.
2 governors, 3 governors.
4 housing commissioners.
Lord only
police.
knows how many police commissioners.
How many police commissioners? But now that the neighborhood is on the rise, I see lots of police presence that I didn't see in 2005. I see lots of activity, economic development activities by the housing department and its partners, from vacants to value to that trifecta that is Hopkins, Micah, and the University of Baltimore. They've got about $100 million invested in the new North Avenue or the new Charles Street, best defined as the white L.
Right.
So you tell me why I chose the neighborhood.
Right.
I didn't really chose the neighborhood. There's a vibe here that actually chose me. And I know that sounds kind of ethereal in my head, but it chose me. We just happened to be driving home one day from work up Charles Street, and we looked to the left and we saw this wonderful building that needed a hug, that needed an embrace, that needed some energy, some positive energy. And that energy came from the community and the people who supported us these last 13 years. We're not selling magic food. It's not a magic kingdom. It's a place where people brought organic, authentic energy and helped us grow, and also grew. They helped it turn into what I would consider a cultural canopy, a place where all people could come together
and
and like it.
it's a place where you always feel welcome, as is Nancy. How many artists were birthed out of SNAC?
I gotta say, we've had an incredible support of artists. Over 144 artists in the 13 years that we've had, both new and established artists, have shown at our gallery. Everybody from Joyce Scott to Stephen Towns to Herman Williams. I can't name some of the pieces that have been through our gallery. That's a lot of economic impact back to the artists as well. We've also had concerts. We've had celebrity guests. We just had a full plate of activities there, but again, driven by the community.
I remember the emotions I felt when the doors closed a few weeks ago, because each time that I ran for office, did you allow me to come, regardless of my political affiliation, and have something and welcome people and be a supporter of my evolution. And I'm not even an artist that's hung on those walls. So I want to say thank you.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate that, and I know how many other people you've been that for and been that to. What is the next step for SNAC and Kevin and Bill and all of our family?
Well, it's a 1, 2, or 3-pronged, I think, approach. A, to get established in our next space, a little larger, a little brighter, a little more inviting, maybe not some of the challenges that we had past 13 years, but also to have the city and its partners examine the relationship between landlords and their responsibilities, broad brush responsibilities of the landlord and tenancy and all those new regulations that are coming forth about rental registration, property registration, property inspections that are vital. And if this property been inspected, maybe I've forgotten some of the repairs done that need to be done.
And it seems to be a new look and scope on slumlords, right?
Absolutely.
But it seems to only be in the residential space, and a lot of it seems to be driven from the 2016 presidential election, when it was learned that Jared Kushner owned some of the public housing and properties where people were illegally evicted and had been slumlords. But we knew this was an issue in Baltimore for quite some time.
It's an issue here in Station North because the public housing that we do now know as the Van Stille Branch Building, which is just north of our restaurants, 320-unit building, has been subsidized, sold off to, the management has been turned over to a private firm. And that means that those people who live there, those legacy residents, their livelihood may be impacted. Their living space may be impacted because the area is growing. And I go back to what I said about multiple modality area. This area, more than any area in the entire state, you can walk 2 blocks and get on a light rail, and then you're at BWI in 15 minutes. You can take any number of free buses on Charles Street. You can take the boat bus to New York in $25 for 25 minutes. You can walk 1 block to Penn Station and be on a train. So there's wonderful modes of transportation that come through this space, this center city space that's north,
So
south,
this is
east,
a
and
transit
west.
hub, like people are
It really is.
north and Mondawmin, but because all of the transit's not on the same corner, do they not recognize it as such?
I think those big budget, big developers realize the importance of it, and that's why I think they're all moving to this neighborhood and driving the properties up, which is fine. But let's take care of the legacy residents, the people who were here first, who deserve to not be gentrified out or displaced out. They should be
priced out.
Or priced out, and that happens a lot when neighborhoods turn, as this one is.
So if anything, aside from the conversation around slumlords in a commercial space, what else do you want to be the spark of? Because you are a legacy resident.
I think that, moreover and more importantly, is just letting people know what's there, meaning that resources, people need resources. And whether they come from the governor or they come from the mayor's office or they come from the federal government, people need to know about those resources and those incentives. And they need to be applicable to everybody. So there needs to be some parity, is what I want to say, in how those things are metered out. I don't want to see a bunch of non-black groups get one set of rules and then African-American group get a different set of rules. I just learned of an African-American arts district being established here, and I just read a poll that they need 10,000 signatures to establish the Black Arts and Entertainment District. Well, I might be wrong, and I'll check this later, but I don't remember 10,000 signatures being required to establish Station North Arts, and I've been here since it was established in 2002. And we were the first arts district.
Well, it's not. You can do the research. Not to mention the fact that myself and the late Frank Conway Sr. thought it was disrespectful to want to have a black arts district in what has always been a black arts city. And it
Absolutely.
minimalizes and it insults our legacy. And that's what all this is
Well, it goes back to the
legacy.
application of parity, that you can't reward one group of artists for their contributions, but then be negligible in acknowledging and respecting those African American artists or Latino artists who are also a major part of the core community. It's a cultural canopy. You can't have this silo effect where everybody's doing good in their own little spaces. There's got to be some seamless successes throughout there, and people need to know that visibility is valuability. Let me see what you're doing. Let me know what you're doing.
Those silos are killing us in business. They're killing us politically. They're killing us culturally. And then when something happens, because being in silos makes us pray for those watching all the different bubbles moving.
Absolutely.
Then they want to make an outcry. And then they want to say, oh, come save my silo. But your silo didn't help save nothing else.
Absolutely. So
right?
You're talking about unification, community unification, collaboration, connectivity, all those wonderful things that say we can rise together.
Right. And that's what you're talking about. Just saying let's be equitable and fair and unified in the way that we build this up with the legacy residents and whomever wants to come add to.
Absolutely.
You're not saying that you don't welcome new business, right?
Absolutely.
You're not saying that you don't.
But we have to have leadership, and not uneven leadership, that supports small business from the pocket and not just from the mouth.
And from the pocket, meaning you don't create criteria that become barriers for small business to even get access to
absolutely.
Small business funding,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
Let's just lay it plain.
Yeah,
out there,
absolutely.
Right?
Now, I'm not saying make special dispensations for people who don't meet the criteria. Help those individuals then adjust and get straight or get right, so that they can maybe in the next round or the next round or the next round at some point meet the criteria needed to have access to that capital,
They
whether
do
it's
it
grant
for first-time
or
home
loans.
buyers all the time.
So a little hand-holding.
Organizations exist to guide first-time home buyers through the process to make them eligible for lending
Absolutely.
and eligible for purchase. So why wouldn't that same pathway exist for small business?
It needs to. Maybe we'll talk to the governor about that.
So before we go, because I know you have breakfast to serve and
I got
got to
grits
keep
to
the
grade.
coffee.
Right.
What is it that you want people to take from this? What is the next step, and how do we support you going forward?
I want people to know that there is a wonderful space being created for you to come and be yourself. Be with like-minded people, and maybe sometimes not like-minded people, but to continue the cultural canopy that Station North is of artists, writers, musicians, graffiti artists, people who really just love the city and love this neighborhood.
And legacy.
And legacy, absolutely.
And I have no doubt from which you cultivate and you curate just by the beautiful majesty that is your spirit. And wherever you go, all that magic will come.
Thank you for that. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.